Yes, you. Welcome to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast, a podcast for people who want to disrupt their lives for a good reason, to make it count. I'm your host, Jen Glantz, and every week I'll drop a new episode with stories from real people just like you, who woke up one morning and decided to make big changes, starting with small things. We'll cover topics like entrepreneurship, love, failure, and self-care. Hey, you're not getting any younger, so let's make this an adventure. Ready? Hey, any youngers, it's me, your host, Jen Glantz, coming at you with another new solo episode right before the July 4th holiday. I hope you're doing something interesting. Maybe you are just hunkering down at home, cooking up those hot dogs. I almost said frying up those hot dogs. I'm a lifelong vegetarian. I don't even remember the last time I had a hot dog, though it is the meat I crave the most. I became a vegetarian around age 6, but before that, I loved hot dogs. I know that's like one of the grossest things to eat, like meat-wise, because it's like a conglomeration of meat, but it was literally the meat I crave the most. I love watching the hot dog eating contest on July 4th because, well, it's just fascinating that they can do that, but I also just crave a freaking hot dog. And no, I'm not into those vegan hot dogs. I don't like the texture of fake meat. I'm just going to stick with my pizza on this July 4th and hang at home. I'm sure there'll be fireworks somewhere around New York City, so I'll be watching them from my window in Brooklyn, hunkering down. Maybe I'll just watch them on TV, put a YouTube video on of fireworks, and just sit there and watch. What has this life become? I can't believe I am saying that, but hey, it's 2020. We're in the month of July. How are you doing? I really want to know. I really want to know how you are doing. And I know that I'm not in the physical room with you right now, but feel free to just say it out loud. How are you doing? I know it's going to feel weird to talk out loud right now, but sometimes you have to answer that question honestly. And when people usually ask you, you have such a fake answer to it. You're like, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm okay, I can't complain. But look, how about you use this space right now to answer that question? How are you? Answer it. Hopefully you said something and maybe you were honest with yourself, but I want to talk about how everything is all over the place right now. You know, a lot of you, based on where you're living, you're getting back into some sort of routine. Things are opening. You're in phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. I don't even know what phase we're in New York anymore. I just know I'm not really leaving my house right now. So I think as we are transitioning back into this new stage of life, things are going to start to change a little bit. We might have to have new routines for ourselves. A lot of you just came off of either being at home, working from home for many months, or you were an essential worker who did not get a break for many months. You worked your butt off, or you were laid off or furloughed and you're sort of still at home right now trying to figure out what the heck to do next. So a lot of different scenarios, and maybe you're none of those things. Maybe you are world traveling and you haven't stopped. Maybe you are a parent, a full-time parent, which is a badass hard job, and that hasn't stopped. But either way, no matter who you are and what you're going through, your routine has changed. And because your routine has changed, you got to change some things too. Meaning, because some of our day-to-days are different, my question for you this week is, how are you going to show up for yourself on a daily basis? When I look back at 2020, it will feel like a couple of days. It'll feel like the whole year was just a couple of days because so many of the days blend together. I mean, there were so many days in April that I just let roll into the next because what was there to do? And I didn't necessarily go outside of the box and do anything big for myself. I would spend so many days during this quarantine telling myself that tomorrow, I was going to wake up and work out, and I didn't. I never actually ever, not one morning did I wake up and work out. Maybe I worked out in the middle of the day or at night, but I never followed through on that. And I ask you, as your world is changing, as we move into July and things are a bit different, how are you going to show up for yourself every single day? You all have 5, 10, 15 minutes where you can do that. What are you going to do with the time? Maybe it's waking up a little bit early and just standing in a hot shower. Maybe it's every night before you go to sleep, you read a chapter of a book. Maybe it's because now you're back in the office and you have that lunch hour break. You take that break to go sit outside and just do nothing, because based on who you are and how your life is, things are about to get even more complicated and hectic as we move through these summer months, as things progress and change, or maybe move backward, who knows? But I want you to think of a constant that you can continuously have for yourself, that you show up every single day. What is that for me? Going for a walk. Yes, I cheat a little bit because I do have this dog and I have to walk her 8 to 10 times a day, but it's going for a walk by myself, not even with the dog. I have made that a constant thing every single day. Even if it's raining, I will go outside with an umbrella and walk around the block on my own. But I miss the art of going places and traveling and doing all of these crazy things I used to do, and going for a walk satisfies a lot of that for now, because it allows me to move my body, change my mind, and change my setting. So that's been huge for me, is that daily walk. Sometimes those walks are 3 hours alone, and sometimes they're 2 minutes, but it's a daily thing that I do to show up for myself. So as you move into the July 4th holiday, as you move into the month of July, my dear friends, I ask you this: how are you going to show up for yourself? All my love, Jen Glantz. And remember, if you are a liker of this show, well, thank you, first of all. But if you can take your phone right now, eyeball down, scroll down, and leave us a review, that is greatly appreciated. I can't thank you enough. And as always, come hang out with us in the secret You're Not Getting Any Younger Facebook group. I can't wait to see you there. All my love. Until next week, Jen Glantz. Hey, you. Thank you for listening to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast. There are hundreds of thousands of pods out there, so thank you for listening to this one. You can find the show notes for this week's episode up on our website, anyyounger.com. Subscribe, rate, and review the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast on iTunes so that other ears around the world can listen too. Oh, and join our secret You're Not Getting Any Younger Facebook group, where over 1,000 people are talking about how to disrupt their lives, for a good reason, to make it count. Until next week, all my love, Jen Glantz.